Yeah, I just recently got onto TikTok myself. I haven't done a ton of videos, but I've noticed that like if you want to, like I say, if you want to do TikTok well, you like real. It's like it's literally content creation because it's like you have to really kind of like plan it out and like and like almost like engineer each video. I usually just do like a
Mhm.
one take thing because that's all I really have the time and energy for. But like, would you say like I don't want to say you're like in your experience with TikTok and becoming unexpectedly successful. Is there anything that you've kind of learned from that you maybe surprised you and you would like to just share? Excuse me.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from TikTok. The one thing that has changed the most is how I view celebrities. Because when I first started TikTok, I saw people with like my amount, even lower, like even like 50, 60,000 followers as like celebrities, and I interacted with them in a different way than I would interact with somebody else that I considered like on my level. But then as I've like grown through these levels, I've realized like we're all just people. Like, and I am no different now. I mean, I'm different in some ways, but I'm still the same person now as I was when I had no following. And yeah, it made me appreciate that, like, wow, celebrities really are just people, and a lot of them have just kind of fallen into this. And there's also a lot of like stress and anxiety that goes with like having your every single word like broadcasted, and people can pick it apart and replay it and hear what they want to hear and take it out of context. And like I just can't imagine the amount of like stress and the impact on mental health that like the big tier celebrities must be going through. Yeah, so my opinion and view of celebrities has changed completely. And then the other thing that I've realized about TikTok specifically, and this is a very specific thing to TikTok, is that, like you were saying, like you can really curate your content. You can really like think about it. You can like script it all out. You can sketch out like your scenes and your angles, and you can put on different costumes and do characters and stuff like that. Or you could just sit there and talk to your phone. And sometimes like I'll put in a bunch of effort, like the first description, and then it'll get no views. And then other times I'll just like wake up, roll out of bed, and talk at my phone for 15 seconds, and that will go like semi-viral. And TikTok is just a mysterious being. That's what I've learned mostly about TikTok, is to almost, it's kind of like try less, but also try a lot at the same time.
Yeah, and I definitely admire the people that do all the like kind of fancy editing and filters and like do the, skits basically by themselves. Like I'm like, man, I would love to do that, but I would need to not have a full-time job to be able to
Yeah.
do that. And then yeah, some people are just like kind of what I'm doing. They just do standalone videos, one take, and they just speak honestly, and that certainly appeals too in its own way. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you because we're actually doing really well on time. I'm very
Oh,
surprised.
sweet.
So I when you mentioned like because that's you were mentioning having to like spend like an hour or more like reading TikTok comments or replying to TikTok comments each day, and like that's one of those things that like it kind of terrifies me a little bit to think like if I actually get that, like it'd be like if I got that popular that I had that many comments to respond to, like that would obviously be kind of a good thing, but it would kind of like I feel like it'd be very overwhelming. So like how do you find that?
It is very overwhelming, and it's very anxiety inducing, especially if the posts go big. So my followers are for the large part like super amazing, and I have this like awesome community of really supportive, really understanding, really just great people. But then if my videos go viral or go big and they breach outside of my followers or even outside of the like neurodivergent queer community and go into just like the general population, that's when I start to get some like really just stressful, icky comments where either they're like missing the point entirely, or they're insinuating I'm stupid, or, they're saying like homophobic, transphobic, ableist stuff, all the ists. Yeah, so and that kind of stuff, it gets really it weighs on you, and it's hard. You know, you try to just ignore it, and you try to just delete and block those kind of people, but they're the kind of things that like stick in your head, and you're thinking about it as you try to go to sleep, and you're like, oh, if I could just talk to them face to face and explain to them, like, no, I actually meant this, and you interpreted it differently, and like, and then the thing you said was actually super problematic because of this reason and this reason. But of course, like, people who comment those kind of things are not the ones that are there to learn anyway. So it's best to just block them and move on.
Yeah, and I think like that's I mean, there's a couple of things there, because like I guess I'm ultimately most active on Instagram as far as like actually posting like kind of like content or art, and it's one of those things where like as a trans female, I know a lot of trans women like post a lot of, you know, selfies, and that tends to bring a lot of attention, and I've intentionally tried to avoid doing that, both because I don't want, like, my page is supposed to be about my art and my creations, and like it's that thing that I've seen the memes so many times where it's like, you know, you post like a really beautiful painting or something, or like a design that you did, it'll get 10 likes, and then you'll post a selfie and it'll get 100 likes, and you're just like, so basically what I do, what I create, my like ideas are next to worthless, and just because I happen to be, you know, conventionally attractive based on whatever standards, like, and that's so, and with this show, like, I'm glad that this show is not like, I really try not to make it about me. It's about like the, you know, the guest story, and like the insights and the wisdom that can be kind of picked out from it. And so I think because it's like a more genuine, honest like effort, I feel like it's hopefully more likely to attract, like, you know, genuine feedback, as opposed to, you know, like, because I do have a few videos on my channel from like way before I started doing this about like trans stuff, and those are the ones that get the most hits, but also get some sucky comments. So yeah, so I kind of relate to you there, but obviously not like, I mean, like I said, it's a catch-22 of like, I obviously want to know that I've kind of reached more people, but I just really think I would struggle if I was having to deal with like hundreds of comments a day.
Yeah, and it's really started to like make me realize that like I don't want to be famous. Like, and I lately I purposely do things that I know will hurt the view count of my posts, because I don't want them to go viral, because it's such a negative impact on my mental health, and I don't want that much attention. Like, I want people who will benefit from my posts to find them, and that's just such a hard balance to like, I want people who will enjoy this and like this content and benefit from it to find it, but I don't want everybody to find it, and there's no way to really like curate it that way.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever been like recognized out on just like general public?
No, not that has not happened yet. I don't know if it's just because I don't go in public very often, or if I'm just not actually that big. But well, I guess we'll see once I start going into public without a mask, maybe.
Oh yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I think even once we don't have to wear them anymore, I might still do it, just as that like, you know, kind of extra level of, because like
anonymity.
Yeah, and it's this weird like kind of like, I keep saying catch-22, but like I've talked on here before about how I tend to overshare and I tend to be very like open, but then that's me kind of choosing it. And then if I'm just like out trying to get groceries or like run an errand, like I don't want to have to be, you know, Lacey Artemis. Then I just want to like be average person and just
exactly. Yeah. You totally said it. Like, oh, this is me, like volunteering the information. Yeah, that's it. That's you hit on that point.
And yeah, and I guess like in a city like Toronto, where I am, where it's like a much like bigger population, I'm like, is it inevitable that somebody's gonna like recognize me at some point? But yeah, we'll see. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah, I've had people recognize me before I started the TikTok, but they're usually like, "You look super familiar. How do I know you?" And I'm like, "Do you go to theater shows in Ottawa? Because you've probably seen me on stage in a strange costume." Or I was your TA at some point. Also could be a possibility.